TV news is a business where we share positive news all too rarely and negative news all too frequently. This news, though, is very painful to us here at WNCT because it involves one of our own. Our longtime photographer and editor, Kevin O'Brien, died yesterday. In fact, he was on his way to work. It was, to say the least, unexpected. Kevin worked here for nearly 40 years. He covered more hurricanes than we can count, more crimes and misdemeanors than you would want to count, and more politicians and elections than anyone would want to count. We see our newsroom as the house that Kevin built. He was our walking, talking archive because he knew almost every story we put on the air over 4 decades and how to find it on video. Kevin broke in many rookies to the news business, photographers, editors, reporters, even an anchor or two, teaching them the ins and outs. One of our former reporters, Kristen Hunter, shared her thoughts, saying Kevin could have a crusty exterior, but it was just an act. He was a softie, and many kids and many dogs could sense that. And Kevin would surprise you because he would be at the station on many nights and weekends, working on some project or another. He didn't do this job because he had to. He did it because he loved to. He covered countless ECU sporting events and was a staple on the sidelines for years. Brian Bailey, you started working here back in 1984. Kevin was here, and he was a big part to your sports team.
Yeah, he was here with me for 36 years working together, and he worked so many times on bowl games. We made so many trips together. We roomed together. I mean, he was just a staple on the sidelines. He worked on the coaches shows in the late 80s and early 90s for Pirate coaches Ed Emery, Art Baker, Bill Lewis, Steve Logan. I remember the very first time I saw Kevin. I didn't meet him at the time, but I was down here in '84 in October that year working on my apartment, trying to get ready to start work on that Monday, and there was a little pizza place around the corner, and I walked in, and it was a Channel 9 car, and it was Kevin O'Brien sitting there eating a piece of pizza, reading a book by himself. And that was what Kevin was.
Yes.
I mean, he lived his own life. He did everything that he wanted to do as far as TV goes. He was such a natural at it, and he's one of those people that, I knew I was going to do this, but you always thought, tomorrow I'm going to get to know him better. And that tomorrow will never come. To say we'll miss Kevin, that won't do justice to what we're feeling right now. There's an emptiness in our newsroom and our hearts that cannot and will not be filled anytime soon. But this is a business that Kevin O'Brien certainly loved and lived.
And tonight our business is telling you about this friend, colleague, mentor, and newsman. A man who told stories with pictures, and how we will never forget his story in our lives.